Well, the plate is served. Real Madrid versus Barcelona in the semifinals of the Cup of Kings. Don't miss this next show. Welcome, everybody, and here we go again in another program of Football con Bamban. And yes, I wanted to take an opportunity that I saw already the draw. The draw was actually put in, and we have El Clasico. What better way to actually have El Clasico in the semifinal, which the Cup of Kings, the way that is actually working on the new format that is playing, it's a single elimination game as it goes through. However, when it comes to the semifinal, the plate is served for every team because they do an away game and a home game. And this is exciting. Why? Because it couldn't be a better moment for these two mega cracks coming inside and playing El Clasico. The Clasico, which we already started 2023 seeing how Barcelona outclassed Real Madrid in the final of the Super Cup of Kings from the League of Spain. However, this brought enthusiasm. This actually brings it to another level, exactly what we're going to actually be seeing on these next Clásicos, because we have on the schedule 3 Clásicos coming inside in less than 2 months. And this is going to be exciting. Why? Because right now, everybody who's a fan of Barcelona is ecstatic. They actually cruise over Real Madrid. They liquidated Real Madrid. They actually did an exhibition. It actually looked like the old Barcelona with the tiki-taka and everything. They dominated Real Madrid, something that it was unexpected. But at the same time, I've been telling when I was actually recording my shows prior to that game, I said Real Madrid currently always starts vulnerable in January. And if there was a time that I was worried about thinking that we don't have the advantage and we might not look good and it might not be the victory that we expect, is actually this schedule. And that happened. It was something that I really didn't want to rewatch again, and I actually watched the game twice. However, this is changing. Why? Because we're actually seeing in the league how Barcelona, after that game, has been struggling a little bit. However, they've been struggling a little bit and still winning, which is good for Barcelona in their schedule because they know they're only going to get better. And this is what's going to happen as soon as they get Lewandowski back right now for the league, and they're still in an advantage of 5 points, which is going to be critical, the Clásico, for Real Madrid to try to win because they need to minimize that advantage and allow that if Barcelona has a little slip, then Real Madrid will be able to conquer again and lead the league. And that's counting that Real Madrid doesn't lose any play. And of course, Barcelona does have a slip. However, before we get to that, I do want to discuss a little bit the schedules. And obviously, to finish that line of thought that I was saying, that Barcelona fans are ecstatic and wanted to see a Clásico for the semifinals of the Cup of Kings, was because they actually feel that Barcelona at this moment is currently better than Real Madrid. They're playing better, or they were actually having a better sensation towards this game. However, Real Madrid fans are upset. They're humiliated. It's something that is unheard of for us. We're the Champions League champions. We're actually the league champion. You know, it was not expected. Real Madrid doesn't know how to lose finals, and Real Madrid for a long time never lost a final. And this is the first final they've lost in another time. There was actually a slang or a phrase that it was always said that Real Madrid doesn't play finals, the Real Madrid wins finals. Well, that was stopped by Barcelona, and therefore Real Madrid is upset. So they want vengeance, and how better to be a vengeance than a Cup of Kings, away and a return match. This is going to be amazing, my friends. You don't understand how much hype this is in the Spanish community, but I can expect that even you guys that are fans, non-Spanish speaking, also feel the same excitement, especially if you follow either Barcelona or Real Madrid. It's going to be exciting for everybody. However, I do want to discuss a little bit about who has the most difficult schedule. And what I'm going to be able to do is provide you guys the schedule from Barcelona and Real Madrid. And then I'll give you a little brief about my opinion, who I think has the tougher schedule and why they have the tougher schedule. And then what we'll do is we'll close down the show. So hopefully you have a little bit of patience. It's going to be a little tedious in here because I'll go day by day, pretty much showing exactly what Real Madrid and Barcelona is facing or what to expect on these next schedules. So let's start with February. Let's start with the team of Barcelona. Barcelona is actually going to be visiting tomorrow, Wednesday, 1st of February. They're going to be visiting in Sevilla to Real Betis. They're actually going to have a game, and then 4 days after that, on the Sunday, 5th of February, they're actually gonna receive another team for Sevilla, which is gonna be Sevilla Football Club, who's gonna come in the league for Barcelona. Then after that, Barcelona has to go the next week and visit Villarreal on Sunday, February 12th. Then that Thursday, February 16, will be the first match of Barcelona in the European League against Manchester United. And Barcelona plays at home that game. So it's very important for Barcelona to win that game if they want to actually have a chance to overcome and actually go to the next phase on the European Cup. We already know that Barcelona got disqualified from the Champions League. Well, didn't get disqualified, just got eliminated from there. They didn't win enough games. They didn't get enough points. So therefore, they had to be descended. Same thing happened to Manchester United. They're actually here in the European Cup, making all their phases and going through. So Manchester United, one of the favorites to actually win the European Cup, but Barcelona, as being relegated from Champions League to European Cup, automatically becomes one of the top favorites to win the Cup of European. But we saw last year how Barcelona was favorite, and then Eintracht of Frankfurt actually did the opposite and stopped their party. So it's going to be an interesting match. That's Thursday, February 16. We go immediately on that Sunday, February 19. Barcelona receives Cadiz. Then Thursday, February 23, which is going to be the opposite week, is actually now the second leg of Barcelona and Manchester United, this time in Manchester, England, and it's going to be something else. So there we will see if Barcelona gets eliminated from the European Cup and becomes a little bit more eager to win the rest of the cups that they have available, which will be Cup of Kings and the league, where obviously they lead by 5 points currently right now. And so right after that game, Sunday, February 16, they actually go visit the Almeria in the league. And there we go, fellas, because Thursday, March 2nd, the first game of the Cup of Kings, and Barcelona is going to be visiting Real Madrid. It's going to be the first game of that semifinal. It's going to be the Clasico. It's going to be the big monsters. It's going to be either the rematch, or is it going to be another just saying I said so to you. So anyways, right after that, 3 days after that, Sunday, 5th of March, Barcelona will be hosting Valencia in the league game. Sunday, March 12th, Barcelona will be visiting the Vasco community with Athletic Bilbao. And then it's going to be Sunday, March 19. Barcelona will compete and receive Real Madrid on a Clasico, but this time it will be not for the Cup of Kings semifinals. It's actually going to be the league. This is going to be a game from the league. It's going to be a Clasico. It's going to be an exciting game also as well, because all depending on the match that happens, and whoever overcomes that away game in a Clasico, it's going to be that's going to be just pounding. So it's going to make this game so much more attractive. It's so much more willing to see it, because it's going to be a war. It's always a war. Clasico is Clasico, my friends. It's always the biggest game in the world, pretty much, from club football, and I think it's the most watched tournament. It's actually bigger than, well, I don't want to even mention anything else. But anyways, April 2nd, because they're going to be FIFA dates. That's going to be the qualifying for 2026. World Cup is actually going to occur in that later phase of March. So therefore, there's going to be a stop pretty much for the clubs. And we're going to start April 2nd. And April 2nd, actually, Barcelona starts a game against Elche, visiting Elche. And then Wednesday, the 5th of April, 3 days after that game in Elche, Real Madrid and Barcelona. Once again, the third Clasico that we're going to have in less than 2 months. And it's going to be in Barcelona. That one would actually eliminate one team and actually let one of the teams to follow through to go to that dream final of Cup of Kings. So therefore, we know already that Real Madrid has not been in these scenarios in the Cup of King, which is weird, but Real Madrid has never tended to be so serious in the Cup of Kings, but a lot lately they've wanted to have more a little bit on it. So anyways, they haven't been for over a decade in this semifinal position. So it's very important right now that they want to get back revenge against Barcelona. What better way to revenge than if they can win these three Clásicos and actually defeat Barcelona? That will really put a toll on Barcelona and put a closer match in La Liga. So that's something that it could happen, but then at the same time, Barcelona could do the opposite. It could actually destroy the morale of Real Madrid and put them in a scenario that it's not ideal. So anyways, right after that, then now Barcelona just has pretty much league games, and it's going to be starting with Sunday, the 9th of April. They're going to be receiving Girona. Then the 16th of April, they're going to be visiting Getafe. The 23rd of April, they're going to be actually playing against Atletico Madrid, receiving them at home. And the 26th of April, they're actually going to be visiting Rayo Vallecano on the 30th of April. They're going to go once again and receive this time the Sevilla team, Real Betis. And it's going to be May. May is going to be May 3rd. It starts on a Wednesday against Osasuna. It's a home game. They're going to be an away game on May 14th in Español, which is a derby, very, very awaited derby. We knew the complications and all the dilemma that it was actually in that first derby where the league allowed Lewandowski, which had a red card plus a 3-game suspension, which eventually got enforced to be able to commit. However, that day against Español, which was the first game of the season this year of 2023, Lewandowski was still allowed to play and did not comply with the suspension, so they were not happy about that. So this is going to be an interesting game because it was a very close game also that day. May 21st, Real Madrid. Barcelona is actually going to be hosting against Real Sociedad. 24th of May, Valladolid will host Barcelona, and the 28th of May, Barcelona will host against Mallorca, and it will end on June 4th, Barcelona visiting Celta de Vigo. Now, let's go very quick, without further ado, to talk about Real Madrid's schedule. And Real Madrid's schedule starts on Thursday, February 2nd, which is 2 days from now against Valencia, and that's going to be a home game for Real Madrid. And then after that, 3 days after that, Mallorca is going to receive Real Madrid. And what will happen right after that is 3 days after that, Real Madrid has to fly to the Middle East to be able to play the World Cup of Clubs. And that's going to be the semifinal match is going to be February 8th, where Real Madrid is going to be facing whoever wins that bracket, whereas Seattle Sounders and the other 2 teams that are going to be facing in the beginning of February. Whoever wins that game in the semifinal, if Real Madrid gets to win that game, then he plays on Sunday, that final, the 11th of February. If that comes to happen, then 3 days after that, Real Madrid will receive Elche for another game. And then 3 days after that, they will be visiting Osasuna to play. And then immediately 3 after that is the first day of the Champions League, which Real Madrid has to fly to London and play Liverpool. And then it has to come up and, play in England pretty much against Liverpool. And it comes out to be that 4 days after that, then Real Madrid has a derby, and they will be receiving Atletico Madrid. We already know about the last game of Atletico Madrid with Real Madrid, where Real Madrid had to come back and do a comeback to win that game. There was a lot of dilemmas about, all the slurs and racist comments and xenophobic images that we saw, especially about that mannequin hanging from the bridge and the big banner saying that, Madrid hates Real, and then the mannequin, of course, had the jersey of Vinicius Juniors, which it was a big dilemma. It was a big game, and Real Madrid actually overcame that obstacle. But it was a game that we know that is every time that game plays, it's very exhausting. So after Madrid plays that 25th of April, immediately starts the 2nd of March, and that's the first game of the leg of La Copa del Rey against Barcelona. Actually, Real Madrid host that game, so it's going to be in Madrid. So they play 2 games back to back in Madrid, and then after that, 3 days or 2 days. I think it's actually going to be changed for the 5th of March, but it currently right now on the schedule of the 4th of March, which is 2 days after that Barcelona game, Clasico. Real Madrid will have to go and visit Real Betis club, and then after that, it's going to be the 11th of that Saturday, 11th of March, where España from Barcelona is visiting Real Madrid to play that game, and 3 days after that, Real Madrid would actually be facing Liverpool, but this time it's hosting at home. So then once again, back-to-back home games a little bit to Real Madrid, give them a little bit of rest. And then 3 days after that, Real Madrid has to go and fly to Barcelona and play the League Cup Clasico, which is going to be the league game. It's going to be a Clasico, very interesting. No further ado to say, I think I said enough the first time that I mentioned it. And then it comes out to be that there's that stop in March that I talked about, the FIFA stop. They get a little bit of rest. And then the 1st of April, Real Madrid starts by receiving Real Valladolid. Immediately, 4 days after that, they have to go to Barcelona and play that second leg of the Cup of Kings, the semifinal. So then 4 days after that, Real Madrid has to go and host, well, has to receive and host Villarreal, which is going to be very difficult, that game. And then the 15th of April, they will visit Cadiz. The 22nd of April, they will host Celta de Vigo. The 25th of April, they're actually going to be visiting Girona Football Club. The 29th of April, they're going to be hosting Almeria Union UD. The 2nd of May, Real Madrid has to go to the Vasco community to go play against Real Sociedad, which we already know it was a tie this past week, and it was a very intense game and a very awesome game to be able to watch. Unfortunately, Real Madrid conceded some points and gave the advantage in the league to Barcelona. Instead of being 3, now they're actually 5 points behind, which they're going to have to play catch up, and that's not an easy game to be able to play catch up. So anyways, the 13th of May, they're going to be hosting Getafe. The 20th of May, they're going to be visiting Valencia. The 23rd of May, they're going to be hosting Rayo Vallecano. The 27th of May, they're going to be visiting Sevilla FC. And then the 3rd of June, they're actually going to be hosting Athletic Bilbao. Not an easy schedule, fellas. Everything is lined up, everything's set up. This is the banquet. My opinion, who has a tougher schedule? I think the toughest schedule is actually in the ball court of Real Madrid. Currently, Real Madrid has a lot of injuries on the team. They're not looking good pretty much in that point. However, they're playing really good. The bench players are showing up. They're actually doing their job. The Marco Asensio, the Dani Ceballos, they're coming inside. Nacho Fernandez, even Camavinga, they're all coming inside. And Rudiger, they're all coming inside. They're showing up in the game, making Real Madrid look pretty good in that last game against Real Sociedad. So I think they have a really tough schedule. They're playing almost every other day. They're playing every 3 days. They're playing a game. It's going to be really tough to see how the physical condition is going to be a big attribute. Hopefully, good news is Real Madrid actually had today Tchouaméni practicing with the squad, and David Alaba started the practice today in the gym, and then eventually started practicing in the field with the players. So therefore, that's perfect news. That's actually really positive news to Real Madrid. Hopefully, no further injury comes up, and then by the time that some of these games are played, we might be able to be fortunate to see Dani Carvajal and even Lucas Vázquez come back and be able to be participating in some of these games. Now, for Lamendi, we already know he's going to be 2 months on the injury reserve list. So therefore, Eduardo Camavinga right now is currently going to be covering his spot. Maybe David Alaba, when he comes back, he might cover that spot also. We'll see how things go on and how things disinvolve, and we'll see how Carlo Ancelotti takes all this pretty much from there. However, I wanted to say Barcelona, by team quality, has a little bit more accessible and a little bit more flexibility to be able to rotate their squad from their A squad to the B squad. Real Madrid doesn't have that luxury. They do have both a lot of games coming inside recurrent every 3 days. It's not going to be different for both teams at that point, even though Real Madrid has a little bit more competition still in prospect and lined up than Barcelona. However, it's going to be so much interesting to watch these Clásicos. I can't wait. I want to desire, and actually when we come back to a Clasico, of course, I want Real Madrid to be able to discipline Barcelona. However, we'll see if that happens or not. Anyways, people, I want to let you know all that information. I'm trying to come in here consistently and tell you what's good, what's not good, what is going on the Spanish community, Spanish league. I'll try to give you predictions about today, be in the market winter. I gave a video a little bit earlier about what I think about what Real Madrid is doing in this market, in this video market. I'll probably come up with another show later on tonight talking about how the transfer market came through, what's the biggest transfer that actually occurred. And hopefully you guys keep enjoying about this channel, keep subscribing, keep the like button. Actually, I have a question for you guys. If you can, be so kind, whoever stayed into the end of this video, make a prediction. Tell me who you think is actually going to be in the final match from the Cup of Kings. So we had Atletico Bilbao versus Osasuna in one leg of the semifinals, and then of course you had the Clasico, Real Madrid and Barcelona. So if you can give your predictions, who will be the 2 teams in the final, that would be greatly appreciated. I hope to see you, to read you guys soon. If not, Thank you so much for being your time. And whoever left it all the way to the end, awesome job. I'm so proud. The channel's growing. This is pretty good. And like I said to you guys before, and I mentioned to you guys before, this was a request from a lot of friends that they don't speak Spanish. And they've been telling me, they're like, Hector, you're creating so much shows in Spanish. I need to learn exactly what you're doing. I don't have time to learn Spanish the way you have all this information. So can you please bring this information in English? And here I am. I'm trying to do a translation almost word by word of everything that I'm doing in Spanish. So, you guys are not missing much. So here we go. Here we go. Fútbol con Bambam, the new channel in English for sports. And I'm enjoying it so much to be able to share all this information with you guys. God bless, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.